Move along then to Radu Pițurlea, who's Chairman and Chief Executive of Concelex. Your thoughts, please.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in the construction of a suspension bridge, you know, one of the big ones, like the Golden Gate, there is one decisive moment engineers call the closing span. It is the moment when two structures, built from the opposite sides, finally meet. Until then, there is effort, there is capital, there is design, there is ambition, but there's no bridge. What matters in the end is not the two halves. What matters is whether they connect. This is also the question before our region, because when we speak about infrastructure today, we're not speaking only about concrete, steel, and cables. We are speaking about whether economies remain connected under pressure, whether energy flows securely, whether communities have access to opportunity, whether states can respond in crisis. Infrastructure is no longer only an economic issue. It is a resilience issue, a security issue, and it is increasingly a sovereignty issue. This is why the vision of the Three Seas Initiative matters so much. It understood early that Europe cannot be truly strong if north-south connectivity remains weaker than east-west connectivity, that transport, energy, and digital networks together determine whether this region can compete, adapt, and lead. Today, the case for investment is clear. So the real question is no longer why we should invest. The real question is how we turn investment into strategic results. From my perspective, the answer is simple. The defining issue is no longer financing. The defining issue is execution. Execution begins with prioritization, because not every project creates the same value, not every delay has the same cost, and not every announced project changes people's lives. A well-chosen corridor brings a patient closer to a hospital. It gives a business in a smaller city a chance to compete. It gives a 25-year-old a reason to build a future at home. When infrastructure is prioritized well, people feel the difference. When it's prioritized badly, it exists only on paper. In my view, three conditions make the difference. First, predictability. No major infrastructure program can succeed in a climate of stop-start decisions, shifting priorities, delayed payments, or administrative uncertainty. Second, real partnership between the public and the private sectors. The strongest projects are the ones where public authority, private expertise, financing, design, and execution are aligned early and aligned honestly. Third, and perhaps the most important one, execution capacity. A country is not resilient because it announces major projects. It is resilient because it can deliver them. And I would go one step further. Infrastructure is not truly strategic if it can be financed here, but cannot be built, maintained, repaired, and restored by capabilities based here in our region. This is what I called sovereign infrastructure. Infrastructure that is not only located in our region, but delivered by companies, engineers, workers, and supply chains from our region, a truly integrated local capability. Because in times of crisis, sovereignty is not a slogan. It is the ability to act, to repair a bridge, restore a grid, reopen a corridor, and rebuild fast with capabilities that already exist at home. And this brings me to Romania. Romania should not be seen as the edge of this map. Romania should be seen as one of its anchors. But geography alone is never enough. Strategic position becomes strategic power only when matched by disciplined local execution. So the choice before us is clear. Do we build isolated assets, or do we build a system that works? Do we invest for visibility, or do we invest for resilience? Because if we get this right, we will build far more than infrastructure. We will build trust. We will build competitiveness. We will build resilience. And above all, ladies and gentlemen, we will build sovereign infrastructure. Thank you.